Informed, outspoken, wild, fearless. This is the Fantasy Football Dudes podcast.
What is up, my dudes? This is Trent. I am joined by Phil, Seth, and Jordan. We have our week 13 recap here today. We're going to be talking about the 49ers, the Eagles, a little bit of Thursday night football, and a lot more NFL news. Before we do that, Phil, anything you want to say, any housekeeping items you want to say or anything like that, Phil? How you feeling, little guy?
Number one, I hate you for saying that. Number
little
two,
guy.
I'm still not over my frustration towards you since the Cowboys beat the Seattle Seahawks, but we'll put that aside for today's pod. I just want to make sure we get this thing out there, mostly for the fans. Seth and I are still not talking to you, I would say. Seth, would you agree with me there? Seth?
Sorry, I had myself muted. Screw Trent. I'm just kidding. But I will say this. I love Trent because he did. I am the only one who listened to him on the last pod and made that live bet that he talked about on Thursday Night Football. He talked about it. And I don't know if I'm sad that I cheered when Geno threw a pick, but I mean, I made $50 out of it. So yeah, I'll take it.
It was
$50 or a dub. I mean, I'm leaning $50,
Yeah.
Here's the deal. It's like when you make a play on Sleeper, sponsor the pod, and you hit it, it's really a big deal. It's nice to win. You know what I mean? It's nice to get that
nice
payout,
to win.
all that stuff. But when you're with someone else that, you don't really necessarily care about, but someone that
not a significant other, but someone who you care about.
Yes. But it was just like me and Seth watching the game together, mortal enemies. I'm a Cowboys fan. He's a Seahawks fan. There was a moment during that game that was just pure bliss when both our bets hit. You know what I'm saying? Like our sleeper play hit. We shared a moment. We were happy together. We both cheered. It was actually kind of weird. It was like an alliance in the middle of the game. It was very strange. I can't
Stop describing it. I'm going to move on here and go into my intro.
Trent tried to dip me and he brought his face close to mine, and I was like, all right, dude, I'm happy, but not that happy.
Yeah, then you woke up.
It was a Titanic
your dream.
It was one of those Titanic moments, or what is that?
I woke up and I was in a dark closet. I don't know why.
When Patrick Swayze picks, was that Patrick Swayze was Trent and Seth was the girl from Red Dawn that he picks up there. Anyhow, we're gonna move on there. We had some games.
Hold on. My only comment from that game is that I'm still really confused why Phil said that he was 99% going to watch the game with Trent and Seth, and then I find out he wasn't with them, and I'm still really confused at the 1% chance of it not happening. Normally when people say 99%, it's like they actually do it. I don't know, Phil. It's really weird that the 1% happened.
Here's the thing. I'm a guy who operates on 1% averages. And so for me, it's not entirely uncommon that 1% happens, even though it's, mostly unlikely. So I don't know. We can talk about it a little bit, I guess. Trent, anything you want to say about the 1% averages in my life? I feel like I'm I don't know. What do you want to say,
the
Trent?
first percentile.
Well, if you would have came, you probably would have won a little bit of cash. There's that.
I would have had some chili.
He would have had some chili. The chili was hot and flowing. Plenty of cornbread. I don't know what to say.
Honey butter on the cornbread.
Yes. Yeah.
Of
course. Yeah.
Well, we had some crazy games.
Go ahead.
The
only thing I would say is that I actually was gonna come hang out with you guys for the last quarter of the game, and then I assumed that no one was with you guys because Phil wasn't there. That's all I'm gonna say.
No, that's usually I bring the party usually. I can understand that.
We actually had more people come because Phil wasn't there. It was it was like the 1% paid off in our favor.
They drove by and didn't see the minivan with Rudolph ear or reindeer antlers, and they're like, "Oh, I'll come." Yeah,
exactly. But guys,
drive by in a good way.
Yes.
It was a drive-by in a good way.
Yes.
No, let me talk about this real quick, Trent. Let me add this intro. Jordan keeps interrupting me here. We had some games, crazy games, 35-41 Seattle, Dallas, all the way to 6-0 Los Angeles versus the New England Patriots. We had scores kind of all over the board today. Actually some decently fun games. So I'm actually very excited to recap this. We had a security guard kicked out of the game. I think that might be the first time in NFL history. We had a coach dropping some words that I certainly wouldn't use, and I don't know if anyone on this pod might use. Trent maybe use those words.
Seth when he's on mute.
Yeah, that's right. But we had some good games overall in the NFL for what we thought was going to be a boring slate. Actually ended up to be a pretty good weekend of football. And I'm not even just talking about the college football playoffs. I'm talking about NFL football only. So do we want to get in that? Do we want to touch on anything on college football?
I don't think we need to. I think we got another step. If you want to say something, Jordan, go right ahead.
No, we'll get to it later. I got saved for the other part, a section at the end of the show.
Okay. Oh, for who hurt you?
No.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Diva.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, then let's get into some NFL scores. News and notes. So, what do we want to talk about here, boys? We got a couple of games here that were actually pretty decent, especially that later afternoon, Eagles, Niners, and then the Green Bay Packers versus the Kansas City Chiefs. So, what do we want to talk about here? We can kind of talk about both of them.
Niners game was kind of a letdown, really. Like Niners brushed off a slow start, but they just boat raced the Eagles. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like the game was close for a little bit. And I think that should put to bed all the questions about who would have won the NFC Championship if Brock Purdy doesn't get hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like I know from year to year it's different, but like when you play with the third string, when you have a guy with Tommy John who needs Tommy John surgery throwing passes at the end of the game, you know what I mean? Like,
well, I think everyone would agree with you there, Trent. You're right. Like I think everyone would agree that the game last year would have been better. But I will say the Eagles' defense last year was like top better. 5, and this year they are terrible. They're awful. They're so bad. The only reason they win games is because their offense bails them out.
That's what I was gonna say. Is that like this passing defense is so much worse than it was last year. So like I don't necessarily know if you can say what you just said about like if Brock Purdy wasn't hurt, they win, because I don't really think that says anything. Like I think their front seven is just as good as they were last year. Like I think they're just, but the back end of that defense is so bad. But we've talked about how bad they are all year long, and to be honest, like Brock Purdy led me to my best DFS day I've had all year this year. So like,
and that's saying something because you're not a huge fan of Brock Purdy.
No, but like the matchup's so good, and so like Brock Purdy, that third Deebo Samuel touchdown at the end was very nice, you know. So yeah, I mean I didn't win anything crazy big, but like it's been not the greatest season for me in DFS for football. Like I've just kind of been breaking even every week. So it was nice to kind of have like a solid day, and Brock Purdy like came through for me. So I thought the game was pretty good. Like, I don't know, Trent, like what was disappointing for you about it?
I guess it was good fantasy. I just wanted it to be a more competitive game down to the wire. And I guess up to the fourth quarter, it was pretty competitive, right? Like, and here's the deal is Eagles, they couldn't win their third straight emotional close game. You know what I'm saying? They couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And then their chief security officer gets thrown out of the game. And Greg Olson's like, oh, this will fire up the team. This guy's going to be on every t-shirt in Philadelphia. This is going to be a big deal. And like, once they lost Dom, they were done. Like that was like, it almost made you feel like Dom's the guy pulling the strings or something there. I know not really, but yeah, chief security officer. We don't have a security officer on this pod, but what we do have is a handyman. The new compact face shaver from Manscaped. Need to touch up away from home? Your chiseled jawline won't lose its luster thanks to our dual action foil shaver. The Handyman is compact designs mean you can toss it in your bag for easy grooming on the go. Now waterproof with 60 minutes runtime, guys. Go over to Manscaped, promo code DUDES20, 20% off your whole entire order. Help yourself out. Help us out, guys. Head over to Manscaped. Tell them the dude sent you. That Handyman is really nice. But yeah, weird thing. Lots of ejections.
Odd. It was just odd. I don't know. What else can you say about that? That whole like exchange. It was weird, right?
Yeah, the head of security gets thrown out of the game. That doesn't even make sense to me.
I don't even know. He had to like touch someone he's not supposed to touch, right?
He touched the player.
Yeah, then that's what it is.
They both made contact with each other. He pushed,
Yeah.
he shoved the player, and then the player made contact with him.
I didn't see the shove. I think he was telling him like get away. It wasn't like a
Well, I wouldn't say a shove, but he put his hands on the player's chest,
yeah. It was
shoulder
kind of.
area.
I thought it was kind of weak.
That must be, yeah. I mean, I would think I would agree, but like even we see when players touch referees, even if it's like an accidental, like he's trying to punch someone and like he whiffs off the helmet and hits the referee, like it might be unintentional. Like he might be like, hey,
an
step away from
automatic.
me, but he can't touch a player. Like that is the ground rules. And I mean,
So
we can call it
and a
stupid or
player
not, but he did, you know.
and a player can't touch a coach. It's like
Yeah.
it's just automatic like ejection if you touch a coach, if you're a player. And I think as we saw, kind of the opposite way around too.
Yeah, it just sets a precedent for things like that not to happen anymore. Just like don't touch them no matter what, and it just prevents things from happening, basically. But I will say though, I did see a hit at the end of the game, this tonight game I was like, man, we're gonna see some fines for these hits that aren't penalties, and it's like it baffles me. You know, I see these hits and I know these fines are gonna come later. You know, I know I'm gonna see it later, or someone's going to send it to me. We're going to see fines on these players, like Patrick Mahomes running out of bounds, gets hit when he's still in bounds.
Yeah,
there's a flag. I mean, that was a flag on that one, but like we're going to see that. We're going to see that fine later. There's another hit that they had on. Who was it? I don't even know who it was. Anyways, it was on DeAndre Swift at the end of the game.
Yes, that was beautiful.
No, it was textbook, total clean hit. But I texted, I'm like, that is going to be a fat fine because they're trying to soften this game up, man.
Yeah, that he got lit up like a Christmas tree on that.
Oh, it was a great hit, like it was bad in a good way.
That was the star on the Christmas tree for the game right there. Like just you know, night, son. But yeah, no, all kinds of good hits. But Eagles game, who are you happy you played in that game? Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown, Devonta Smith on the Eagles side.
Well, the Eagles had less than 50 yards rushing, right?
Yeah, they got shut down running the ball.
Yeah, they couldn't run the ball.
Everyone in that game was good outside of Kittle and DeAndre Swift. Everyone else was awesome in that game. Mm-hmm. It lived up for fantasy purposes. Like, Smith and Brown both had great games. Hurts was good. Actually, how good was Hurts? I know he had the rushing touchdown, but
no, I thought he didn't do that good, but his fantasy points were good. He had like 23 fantasy points, so
and then like Purdy was awesome, and Ayuk, and then Samuel was just a stud. So, which was good.
Hurts ended with Samuel, Hurts ended
24.
with 23.92. Yeah. So 23.
What do you have? How many yards passing? He had
300
yard bonus,
touchdown, 20 yards rushing, 1 touchdown.
Yep.
Who did he throw the touchdown to? Am I blanking on that?
Devonta Smith.
Oh, he threw into Devonta Smith at the end, right?
No.
And then
it's kind of garbage time.
Right.
Yeah. It was like it was their second to last garbage time drive.
And am I the only person who didn't know that Marcus Mariota was on the Philadelphia Eagles?
Yes, you're the only person.
I forgot. I remember hearing it once I saw him in there, but I forgot.
I think I exactly, Trent. Like I totally forgot he was, and then I was like, I see him come in. I'm like, oh wait, that's Mariota. Like totally forgot he was on the Eagles. Mm-hmm. Crazy. Go ahead, Jordan. Sorry.
No, I just said he was two yards away from getting the 300-yard bonus, which would have been another 2 points for him. He would have put him up over 25. So,
yeah. Who do you guys think, without looking, was QB1 on the week?
Purdy.
I think it was.
Was it not Tua?
I'm in a standard.
No, it was not Tua.
No,
I'm in a standard scoring league with no bonuses. QB1 was Geno Smith.
Oh wow.
Him and Purdy had been real close though.
Yeah. But so Geno had 30.9 and Geno had 29.4.
Wow.
So who had? Wait, say again.
Purdy had 29. Geno had 30.
Yeah. So they're right there.
Yeah, very close.
What was next after those two?
Dak Prescott at 28.2 and then Jalen Hurts at 23.9.
Yeah, I honestly, when you asked me that question, I wasn't even thinking about the Thursday.
Ice total games.
Game.
Mm-hmm. And talking about we had an Achane reappearance. Or is there anything else you want to say on this 49ers Eagles game?
No, I was just going to segue into the game that you were going to talk about. So
Dolphins.
Just because Phil mentioned Tua, and I was going to say the problem was they were up so much that Tua didn't actually get there because of he just had 2 touchdowns Tyreek and didn't have enough yards because they didn't have to pass. They ran the ball a ton.
Well, he did have 2 touchdowns still, but yeah. So let's segue into that game.
Yeah, that one was. I did my weekly "Who's playing Achane" tweet with, Sunday morning, and a lot of reactions of like we're in this, we're not quitting. A lot of guys, didn't want to do it. Mostly guys wanted to do it, and the second half he just feasted on that Washington defense. And I was hoping Gibson would have a better game because the game script kind of went how we thought it was going to go, how I said it was going to go. Gibson had like 9.5 points, like they just couldn't.
Yeah, and Robertson.
Nobody got there on the Washington side, Trent. It was really frustrating because a lot of my like DFS, like I had a lot. Honestly, in my 20 lineups, the only 2 quarterbacks I played today was Purdy and Tua. Like I split them right down the middle. In my 3 max, I went 2 Tua, 1 Purdy. I wish I would have done 2 Purdy, 1 Tua, but yeah, like I had a lot of runbacks, and I tried like Curtis Samuel, Dotson, McLaurin. I think I had the most of Curtis Samuel, then Dotson and McLaurin, but like none of them got there. Curtis Samuel almost got there because he almost scored a touchdown, but was short 1 yard.
What hurt us in that game was Sam Howell had 2 rushing touchdowns. That's what hurt us.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah. And so, like, you take away those, and maybe he throws one of those or hands one of those off to somebody. But yeah, that's what hurt that, the fantasy side on the Commanders. But pretty much, you could have started Mostert, you could have started Achane, and you could have started Tyreek Hill. Waddle's still kind of been a little disappointing, right? I don't know if what Waddle really did in today's game.
He didn't do much. I think he had 4 catches, 3 to 4 catches for like 50 yards. He went below his yardage prop. I know that.
Mm-hmm.
They got up so fast, and Washington didn't do enough. And one of those touchdowns was garbage time. So
Waddle ended at 7.7, just for what it's worth, Jordan.
Yeah. What killed the Dolphins, I think, more than anything, Trent? Like, I know it doesn't seem, but was that pick 6 by Hal?
Yeah.
The pick 6 hurt.
Yeah, we needed that. So, yeah, Achane, I was like, I looked away, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, man, this guy has 2 touchdowns, in the second half and outscores Mostert by quite a bit, which if you've had Achane this whole season, you're knocking on the doors for fantasy playoffs, I think you got to be pretty excited, that they're still getting him involved, and he looks really good. Not that Mostert doesn't. I saw a stat today on Raheem Mostert on who he's older than in the NFL. He's older than Todd Gurley. He's older than, I don't know. He's older than a lot of running backs, which surprised you. He's older than.
But how many years has he just not played?
Yeah, and that's what it comes down to. Is just
he is 31. That is old. That's pretty old for NFL.
Yeah, and he's leading the NFL in rushing touchdowns, I believe. When he scored one, I don't know if McCaffrey passed him or anything, but
yeah. But Trent, if you look at this, in like 2016, he played 3 games, 18, 9, 28, and then in 21, he played 1 game. So like the guy really hasn't put together and then like full seasons really at all.
Yeah.
He's only played 2 games. In 2 seasons, he's only played 2 seasons of 16 game played. And one of those was 2019 where he wasn't even the starter. So
yeah,
it's interesting.
Was there anything more annoying today than the weather delays in Pittsburgh?
I can't even. Don't even get me started about that game.
Just
that's
delayed my heartbreak or what? Like
exactly.
That's a great way to describe
slow death. Like I don't.
Jalen Warren was my start of the week.
Gosh.
They
we just went to our who hurt you segment now. Like I mean, like geez, Louise.
No, we don't have to do it now. But like, they're running on the 1 yard line in shotgun, and then you just don't know what the identity is of that team. Is Najee Harris the guy? Is it Jalen Warren? This is a smash spot for Pittsburgh.
It's Mitch Trubisky, is what it is.
Mitch Trubisky. Can we talk about the revenge game narrative I talked about on last week on Thursday's pod with James Conner?
Sure.
No, I just wanted to. James Conner goes
Trent.
off.
That was also my sit of the week.
I know. Jack said sit of the week. I said revenge games are real, guys, and whether you guys want to believe that or not, like you gotta put some respect on guys playing in front of their hometown. I don't think there's anything else we really need to talk about in this game. This game was really hard to watch. It wasn't on Red Zone very much, I'll tell you that. Yeah, it was terrible, but you know what else is terrible is there's leagues out there still that don't have a fantasy football trophy, and that just is a bad thing. Breaks my heart. I don't know what these guys are doing, but it's not too late to get that trophy, guys. Go over to www.trophysmack.com/dudes and get 15% off your whole entire order. So head over to Trophy Smack, tell them the dudes sent you guys, and they will take care of you there for all your fantasy football trophy needs, last place ribbons, participation awards, all that good stuff, guys. Look, Seth's holding a trophy right there. Got that on Trophy Smack, and it kind of makes me mad because I'm in that league that he has it in. But yeah, trophysmack.com/dudes, guys, helps us out. So yeah. Anything else you got there, Phil, that kind of caught your eye on some stuff?
The Indianapolis Colts, is Gardner Minshew going to take the Colts to the playoffs?
I think it's looking like it.
Are there going to be two teams from the AFC South that are going to make the playoffs this year, Jordan?
It's possible.
There's maybe even three.
Yeah, 3 would be wild, but
I mean, we have the Jags, the Colts, and the Texans. Jags are 8-3, Colts are 7-5, Texans are 7-5, Steelers are 7-5, Broncos are 6-6, and the Bills are 6-6. It's
definitely possible, that's for sure.
It's possible and it's crazy, but those teams aren't terrible. I mean, I don't think the Indianapolis Colts are great, but that division is not as terrible as it once was. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
Yeah,
I do think the
division.
Yeah,
I do think the Texans are better than the Colts for what it's worth.
I agree with you. Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%.
Well, Tank Dell, speaking of headlines.
Yeah, that hurts them.
Broken leg, fractured fibula or tibula. I don't know which one. But anyways, that sucks for them. But Nico Collins is smash, man. That guy's so good.
I'm wondering if we see any, Mechie here. We've talked about Mechie on this pod. Not for fantasy purposes. Involved. Yeah, maybe it helps him out. Maybe Robert Woods. I don't know. Someone's got to take over there.
Noah Brown.
Noah Brown. But it's interesting though, now that their whole core is healthy, except for obviously Dell now. It's interesting what it's going to be like.
Yeah. What were you saying, Jordan?
No, Noah Brown only had 2 targets. Mechie had 3. Woods didn't even play, it looks like.
Yeah, but that Broncos defense is really good.
No, well, they obviously weren't good against Nico Collins, though. He went 9 for 191 and a touchdown.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but how many points? Like, what the Texans get 24 points?
They scored through 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, was it 24-17 or something, or 22-16?
22-17.
Yeah, so like I feel like they gave up all those yards, but they did kind of stop them from getting to the end zone. That was a fun game to watch at the end. Phil had a sleeper play on there that was kind of fun. He had a Russell Wilson rushing touchdown. I thought Russ was going to break one right there at the end. I needed that, but he just threw another pick. Russ wasn't a terrible streaming option this week. Believe it or not, he finished as quarterback 9. He had 18.8 fantasy points. And if he wouldn't have thrown 3 interceptions, he would have had a lot better game. He might have been QB, like QB 5.
He did have a rushing touchdown, just for what it's worth.
Oh, he did have a rushing touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, he had one.
Okay. So then that was one that actually hit. So
yeah, that was one of my 9 plays that I had that hit. Yep.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, the dynamic payouts, guys, on Sleeper, head over there, promo code DUDES100. They'll match up to $100. A lot of fun over there. We had a buddy, listener of the pod, make $500 of the pod. Yeah, $500 on a $5 play tonight. So that was kind of cool to see that. Seth was keeping us posted on that. All the
guy is so funny, man. He's like he used our code to sign up, right? And so I think he started with 200. He put in 100. Got 100, and his philosophy is he's only doing 100x plays, and he's like, I will make 100, or I'll just keep making $5 plays, $25 plays just on this thing. He's like, I will hit one of them, and it hit tonight. So now he's got $800 in his account. What was that?
Yeah. So how much into it was he? Like how many How many $5
I don't think
plays
it's that
was
many
before?
because sometimes he just does like 100x like $1 plays. He does a lot of those too. And it's the best because most of his picks are absolute trash, because he just like goes on every line. But one was really funny. He made a pick on last week on the Eagles. He's like, all right, this guy's not getting a sack. First play of the game, Hassan Reddick had a sack. It's just hilarious.
I'll be honest.
It's funny. No, all credit to the guy. Like the slip he sent was actually really good.
I actually think like it's a pretty good strategy. Honestly,
No, I think so too. But
if
he's
you only
a clown,
did $5,
so it's always funny.
$5, the 100x. If you only did 100x plays, like you only need to hit one like every 2 months to probably be profitable.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. But it's hard to watch and be like, oh man, I'm terrible at this. It's a lot. I don't know. But it was all in the single game on this Sunday night game. I was impressed. It was a pretty good line.
Prophet's never known his hometown. Just read us his plays, Seth. Just.
All right, I'll pull it up.
Yeah.
The
100x is
So he had his $5, 100x, 8-man on sleeper. Pacheco over 66 and a half. He had 110. Kelsey over 69 and a half. Had 81. Patrick Mahomes, this is where he was sweating at the very end. Over 19 and a half. He had 26. Jordan Love over 1.5 passing touchdowns. He had 3. AJ Dillon over 11 and a half receiving yards. It was close. Got 14. Watson over 40 and a half. Got that. Rip his hamstring. Dontavian Wicks over 19 and a half. He got 43. And Rashee Rice over 44 and a half. So it's a good slip. But
there's nothing outlandish there. I mean,
no, there's nothing outlandish, but a single game 8-man is hard. In my opinion.
Honestly, I think it might be easier than if you spread it out over multiple games.
I think so, but I think it's maybe
an 8-man just in general is hard. It doesn't matter.
No, an 8-man in general, but the way I see it is the game script has to be perfect for all of those lines to hit. Like in my opinion, like the game script has to be perfect in that single game. Whereas if you kind of spread it out between a couple games, like it kind of has to work like only partially your way to maybe get it right, in 4 different games.
No, that's true.
What would you say his reading level's at?
Yeah, but is he at a 4th grade?
Definitely at a
level?
3rd grader.
Okay, so we have people who can win.
He probably smashes every line you can.
Yeah. So we have some people who could, hey, join Sleeper. If this guy can win, anyone can win.
This is not advice.
Yeah.
Good point, Seth.
Yeah. Yeah. So
not financial advice.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
But have fun.
Yeah. Packers, though, are they the real deal? Packers look good.
Yeah.
6-6 now.
What are you thinking, Jordan?
Dude, half the NFL can make the playoffs at this point. More than half. Like, it's crazy. Like, every single team that feels like can make the playoffs right now.
Yeah.
I think the only teams that look like they're above and beyond is the 49ers and the Dolphins right now. I think the Eagles are up there too, but those are the only 2 teams I can think of that are like going to be the ones. So
yeah, I don't know though. Like Dolphins are almost like you said, Dolphins, Eagles, and who, Seth?
The 49ers for 49ers.
Sure. Yeah.
I think the Cowboys are up there too, but
I think so. Dallas is up there, but their defense kind of worried me on Thursday night. I think I've come to the conclusion that what's his name? The corner on the Cowboys.
Brand?
Yeah. I'm wondering if Bland's just really like I don't know. Like I think he's good.
He's just a risk taker.
Yeah, I think he's a risk taker, but I'm thinking that Gilmore's so good on the other side that Bland gets all the targets. I think they think they can pick on him.
Well, they did. And it worked
they did
well.
pick on him a little bit last week, and to this point, it was so funny little thing about. So there is Stephon Gilmore, and then there is Steven Gilmore, who is 10 years younger than him and is his younger brother. Did you guys know that?
I thought they're the same person.
Yeah. There's Stephon Gilmore on the Cowboys, and there is Steven Gilmore, entirely different person, and it's his brother who is 10 years younger. Wild, right?
Why would you name your like? I know a guy that has cousin. His cousin is the same name as him, first cousin, and they're like best friends. But like to be in the same household and have the same, like that's basically the same
screaming
name.
The same name is like, oh, it's terrible. You don't know what your mom said.
Oh no, yeah, absolutely. No, I didn't know that. Phil knows all these
Well-
like weird DB like brother siblings facts and cousins and stuff.
Their dad is
Yep.
Steve. If you guys
Oh.
hadn't figured that out yet.
That's worse.
Steve, Stefan, and Steven.
Yeah.
That is terrible.
Crazy, right?
Yeah, crazy. But
It's just
the AFC West is in shambles, Jordan.
I mean, sure, I guess. I don't know. You want me to say? Like, I don't know.
I don't.
Hey, but Trent, I've comment on like you said the Cowboys defense like worries you, but like every defense, every good like who's the best? I still think the best defenses in the league are not even on teams that are good. Like, I still think the Browns defense is one of the better ones. The Jets, but even the Jets, like their pass defense is good, but like their run defense is a little just okay. Like I think the Browns maybe had the best complete defense because if you look at it, like the Dolphins defense, I don't think the Dolphins defense is anything special. Baltimore's a pretty solid defense overall.
Yeah.
Jaguars, I'm just going by the standings in the AFC. Jaguars, way better against the run, can be beat through the pass. The Chiefs defense, as we saw today, like they're kind of overall good, but I think they're better like against the run, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, they've kind of had they've had a tough back-to-back weeks.
Yeah. In the NFC, like the Eagles, you just get thrashed by the pass. The Niners, honestly, really susceptible against the pass, too. Detroit, pass. You can beat them through the air. And Dallas is the one where I think it's a little bit tougher. Like, I don't really know what their weakness is, Trent. It's probably the pass, but
yeah, they're kind of streaky.
Yeah, all these defenses have a bunch of weaknesses.
That's a good point, Jordan, because maybe one of the best defenses in the NFL right now is the Patriots, which seems crazy. They've lost 3 straight games, giving up less than 14 points. Like their defense keeps them in these games. Their offense just can't do anything. But I know they like haven't been playing great games. But look at I think the Patriots just became the first team ever to lose 3 straight by less than 10 points, by giving up less than 10 points or something crazy. Like
as of yesterday, they were rated number 8 in the NFL. Crazy,
which is weird.
I put my money on the Browns being the best defense. I know they weren't great today, but I still think the Browns are the best defense in the league.
Yeah. Yeah. You got Joe Flacco out there throwing the rock. Like,
he wasn't horrible.
Yeah. No, they said he looked poised and like in control a little bit. But like we had Joe Flacco and Trevor Siemian back in the NFL today. Like that was that was wild. When the guy was talking about the New York Jets, he's on. Now look at here, Siemian here. He was a backup for Peyton Manning. What Peyton Manning was really good at, and I'm like, what are we talking about? We have Peyton Manning's backups in the NFL. Like, what is going on? Like, kind of threw my mind in a blender for a little bit there, but yeah, I don't know.
That was a game I did not watch.
Yeah, it was just on Red Zone here and there, right? So I don't know. Rams have won 3 straight, 6-6.
Another team, but they're all right around 500.
They're in the thick of it. We don't know what to do with Cooper Kupp still. Puka had a really
nice
touchdown. Did Cooper score today?
Yeah, he got like I think he'd end up with like 40 yards and a touchdown. So I mean, you're somewhat okay with what happened, but you're not. I don't know. He's in every play, but like Stafford's now like just zoned in on Nakua now. Like there's times where Cooper Kupp's open for 5 yards, but there's a tiny window with Nakua at 15 yards, and he's throwing it in there. So
yeah,
who knows?
Nakua looks good.
For what it's worth, Cooper Kupp had more targets than Puka.
He still have more targets.
8 to 7.
Okay.
Demarcus Robinson has been risen from the grave, though.
Yeah.
Demarcus Robinson, like 455 and a touchdown.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
Heck.
It makes me wonder, watching these Chiefs games, Jordan. I know that one guy came after you, saying you were a casual sports fan for your Mahomes take that you like. He basically regurgitated.
He basically said everything Jordan said.
Yeah. But it's also kind of like we were talking about the Chiefs not having wide receivers and getting carried by their defense. And like they need to figure something out, start moving the ball, start beating teams.
Same thing came out today. Same
like
thing.
they need. And Taylor
If they have
Swift was
Tyreek
there.
Hill on that team, they win this game. It's not hard.
Did you hear what Tyreek said about why
No,
he
I
left?
didn't.
Yeah, say it,
No,
Jordan.
say it, Jordan.
He said he was tired of being the side chick. He said his whole life in football, he was always the quarterback's main thing. And then he got to Kansas City, and he realized that Travis Kelce was Mahomes' main chick. And he said, Pat, if you want to know why I left, you never invited me over to your house like you invited Kelce to your house.
Ooh.
Basically said that
Okay.
he was like, yeah, I was tired of being his side chick.
Was he the side
fair.
chick at was it Oklahoma State or Oregon State?
No, he went to like
Who?
some tiny college.
He went to
I'm pretty sure.
Southern
I'm pretty
Miss.
sure he played at a JC before he played at a university.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He went to Southern
Okay.
Mississippi.
Yeah.
I thought he played at Oklahoma State. I don't know what I'm thinking.
No. You're thinking
It was
Barry
Southern Miss, right,
Sanders.
Phil?
I didn't hear what you both got. You both of you guys talked.
Is it Southern Miss? Is that? I know you're looking it up right now.
Yeah,
Is
I'm
it
looking
Southern
it up
Miss?
right now. No, he played at Oklahoma State.
He might have got kicked off the team.
He coming out of Garden
Got
City
kicked
Community
off the
College.
team.
Hill was highly sought after recruit and it chose to attend Oklahoma State.
And then he
Oh,
got kicked
Then he
off.
got dismissed, and then he went to Alabama, West Alabama.
West Alabama. Who was from Southern Miss, Trent? Isn't there a good
Frank
wide receiver
Gore's
from Southern?
son.
No. Is Antonio Brown Southern Miss? I think Antonio Brown Southern Miss.
No,
he
he's
did
Michigan.
play
at
He's
Oklahoma
Eastern
State.
Michigan or something, Jordan.
Oh, someone went to Southern Miss, and I can't. Now it's gonna bug me. I'll figure it out. What you guys?
To be clear, Tyreek did play at Oklahoma State. I was not wrong.
Yes, you are not wrong.
Antonio Brown
Pacheco-
went to Central Michigan.
Yeah. Pacheco got thrown out of the game too.
Yes,
guy's
he
a
did
punk
for throwing
sometimes.
a punch. He was throwing a punch.
I just like, what are you gonna do? Punch a helmet? Nice, great.
Yeah. A lot of
It
undisciplined
does not feel
stuff.
good. I've done it before. Not a fun play.
It was just someone not wearing a helmet. It was just sitting there, and he's like, "I'm gonna punch it."
No. That was bad though, right? Like what?
Yeah. Even Jalen Carter, though, the guy in the Eagles, he didn't punch a guy necessarily, but he had that big penalty versus the 49ers on an extra point. You know, like I don't know what
It was
these
just
guys-
getting too chippy. Emotions were high, and people were making poor decisions.
that game was real chippy. We keep going back to it. Is MVP
Chipster.
tomorrow, Jordan?
Wasn't that your
Do we-
nickname in high
does
school?
it go to Chipster? The chip block.
What would you ask, Trent?
MVP vote was tomorrow. I know we bring this up every week. If
Oh,
you
is it tomorrow?
No. If
I
it
don't-
was. If it was. I don't know when it
Oh,
is.
sorry. I'm looking up. Brett Favre's the only guy who went to Southern Miss. I don't know why I thought.
Yeah, and he
Southern
wore
Miss.
that
Weird.
helmet that running backs wear. Like it wasn't even like a
I'm trying
quarterback
to-
helmet. It's like a goofy
I-
old helmet.
I don't
What's
know
it like
why I
being
was
a
thinking
casual?
Southern Miss. That's weird. I'm just trying to think of why I thought Southern Miss for Tyreek. I don't know.
Hurts is
Otherwise,
still the
oh,
favorite.
well.
Hurts. Still
Yeah,
is the
it's probably
favorite?
going to be.
It's. I'll go ahead
yeah,
if you want to
probably
guess.
Hurts.
I was gonna say
Um,
it's CMC or Dak is who I would think would be the front runners right
No,
now.
let's look.
It's
I'm
Hurts,
seeing-
Dak, Lamar, Patrick. This is Fox. Patrick, Tua.
I got the actual odds on DK up right now.
Okay.
Jalen
Hurts
Hurts,
is 255, right?
Yeah, he's 2.5 to 1. Dak Prescott's like 4 to 1. Lamar 4.5 to 1. Mahomes 5 to 1. Brock Purdy 5.5 to 1. Man, Brock Purdy shot up the
Shot
odds.
a
I think after this
bunch.
week.
Yeah.
What was
drop
he
it
last?
back.
Yeah, he was.
I don't even
I
think
mean,
we.
Tua's
I don't-
9.5 to 1, and then it's CMC and Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah, Purdy's not a bad bet, honestly. Like, well, I think it's too low now. Like, you can't bet it now, but I'd be curious what his odds were last week. They were probably in the double digits, weren't they? 10 to 1, 11 to
I
1,
would think
12 to
so.
1?
I thought you brought up CMC. I thought last week we kind of check on MVP every week. I think the stuff like CMC looked really good today. Like played really good against the Eagles. The one thing I say that might take something away from him is they just run behind. They just kept running behind Trent Williamson the whole entire time. Like, and that a lot of guys think he's the best player in the whole league. You know, so they just kept going to that. I wonder if people complain about running behind your best player, and maybe they should outlaw that rule too. Like for all the people, like Goodell said, he wants the tush push permanently banned, is what got leaked out.
So dumb.
But
It looks like Dak was as low as plus 6,500 at some point.
Yeah,
which is crazy.
Yeah, he had a really good November. I think he threw 20 TDs, 1 pick the month of November.
Yeah, he started the season at plus 1,500, dropped all the way down to plus 6,500, and is now back up to plus 800. Kind of crazy.
Yeah. A long season.
And Jalen Hurts has been, for the most part, just consistently rising. Go ahead, Jordan.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say it was probably after the Niners game when they lost 42-10.
Yeah, that was the time to do it. And if you think Hurts is going to win still, this might be, I don't know, maybe you got to wait a little bit longer. I don't know. You guys want to hop into who hurt you? You want to hop over to that? All right.
Yeah, sure. Man. I can go quick too. Mine was pretty fast. I don't know what I was thinking. I think it's partially my fault. Probably can say I hurt my own self. I had Pirine with over 12.5 rushing yards.
I thought that was an okay play.
I thought he could get there. Actually. I thought he could get there. Just take a wild guess how many yards and how many take a wild guess on how many attempts.
He had 8 attempts for 3 yards.
He had 1 attempt for 1 yard.
Oh, nice. So the game script got away from you, Phil.
It is just, and everything else hit. That one didn't hit, and I was kicking myself in the pants. How dumb is that?
I would have thought with 8 attempts, that would be close.
He got 1, Trent.
He only had 1 attempt.
Oh, sorry. I thought you said
no.
I just guessed.
I'm sorry.
No, but Seth, if he would have had that many attempts, I think he gets there, right? He didn't even have that many attempts. He gets there with that many attempts.
What was his receiving yards? Because he had a decent receiving prop that I thought about playing.
That's what I would have done with P. Ryan is that prop.
Yeah. Phil is like the president of the P. Ryan fan club, though. Like Phil loves P. Ryan.
I do love P. Ryan. Yes. I do love P. Ryan. Who doesn't, right? The guy will play special teams if he needs to, and the guy is an absolute stud.
That's most NFL players.
He
probably is. It probably is.
I think most of them will play special teams if they have to.
He had 5 yards, Trent. 2 receptions, 5 yards. So even if he had the rushing and receiving, he would not have gotten there. So good thought. And did not happen.
I had a really nice day on Sleeper. I did. I shared it on Instagram, but I had and follow us on Instagram and Twitter at tffdudes. But my play was, it's not really a hurtfulness, but I did. You guys don't want to hear about my wins. It's okay, but it was a nice win. But I
want to hear about your losses, Trent. Yeah, we don't care about your wins.
I would have went 2 for 2 on my plays today. But I was 24 yards short on Jalen Hurts rushing prop. So I did Brock Purdy over 1.5 TD passes and Jalen Hurts over 44.5 rushing yards. He did not get there. And
Trent, I don't think that's terrible. Like, I think the Hurts one, that's a high line, right, for a quarterback. But you think a quarterback who's a mobile quarterback who's going to run is going to run against a good defense, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like you'd think.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And then I had another one. I turned 10 into $143. So that was nice. I had CMC over on the rushing prop, Purdy over on the passing prop, Gibson over on the receiving prop, Russell Wilson over on the rushing prop, and CJ Stroud over on the passing yard prop. So
nice.
Finished with a nice day. But I had a lot of people who hurt my fantasy teams today. Terry McLaurin, nowhere to be seen. Like
talk about
3 targets, 0 catches. He said he did a lot of cardio today. Just ran around. I was hoping I could tweet the Terry McLaurin game into existence. It did not work. If you want me to tweet someone to existence, I'll try to help you out. Just shoot me a tweet and I'll do the best I can. Tank Dell, got him in some dynasty leagues. That's no fun, especially leagues you thought you were going to make a run in. And Fantasy Dad was going to do a video for today. He's sick. He can't talk. and Tank Dell broke his fibula. You know, if you're thinking about that guy, shoot him a tweet or something at TFF Dad, but he's probably pretty torn up. And he told his son not to play Derrick Henry today. So really bad day for Fantasy Dad. He said, all of you tweeting at me about Derrick Henry, please stop. My son's already not letting it go. So yeah, so bad day for the dad over there. And then a lot of people tweeted at me that they didn't play DK Metcalf on Thursday Night Football. Like they actually sat him because of the matchup. That's pretty tough, you know? And especially with like what we said with streaming quarterbacks on Thursday's pod, you could have streamed the number one quarterback on the week in Geno Smith, you know, and a lot of people didn't want to do it. And with the short week, it didn't happen. So, you know, a lot of people could have played Geno Smith and they played someone else. Another guy, Zach Charbonnet, hurt me. I didn't play him. He had 16 fantasy points in half PPR. I know Jordan was all over that one, but I didn't play him. And then Zach Moss didn't get it done. Didn't, you know?
He got hurt, did he?
No, he didn't.
He finished. It just wasn't good. I kept hoping he'd get a touchdown there at the end, but didn't happen. What do you got, Jordan?
Zach Moss is kind of one. And the reason I say kind of is because I had basically locked him in DFS. He was super, super cheap, but he was also super, super popular, like 80% owned, 70% owned in some contests. So, like, did it matter? Like, yes, it probably, you know, in some of the GPPs, it probably helps the 6 points, you know, but like, I don't know if he was really, you know, because he's so high owned, you know, so it didn't matter as much. But like, Jaylen Warren, man, was a killer. I had him on one of my main tournament teams in DFS. I had him in a lot. I think it was like my second highest running back after Zach Moss. He is a great matchup. We just didn't get there. And on top of that, ended 1 yard short on his rushing prop. Would have been an awesome day over on Sleeper if he gets the 1 yard. So that was really unfortunate. So like Jaylen Warren's for sure one. Tua really didn't get it done. That kind of hurt me too, just because like I said, I pretty much just played Purdy and Tua. So just Tua and Waddle combined didn't really get there for me. And then the other one would be like Curtis Samuel. And I think because I had him so much of Samuel with Tyreek Hill. And so like I think if Samuel gets that, if he gets that touchdown, goes for one more yard on that long catch he had, then he probably gets there. You know, that 6 points is a big deal. But yeah, I think Warren, Samuel, and then really Tua, but I don't know. Tua, like I feel like it didn't really kill you. He was expensive though, so it probably did kill me. But yeah, everyone but Warren was a big one. Warren was a huge one for me.
Yeah. Tight ends in general across all my leagues, streaming tight ends. I had a lot of Mark Andrews, so I
use Brevin Jordan. That's who you should have used, Trent.
Well, what I did is I got Isaiah Likely. Then, you know, you put your fab on him. Then he has a bye. So then you're like streaming tight ends again. You know what I'm saying? But I did Cade Otton, who had zero fantasy points. Zero fantasy points.
I actually used Otton too in one of mine. In hindsight, I wish I would just went and picked up Brevin Jordan.
Yeah. And then I did Juwan Johnson. He had 0 points. Yeah. So my two streaming tight ends had 0 points. So that was a whole lot of fun. Rough week outside of, you know, my sleeper plays, you know, was not a good fantasy football week. Mike Evans, 1,000-yard season. That's pretty good, right? You know, he's still on the list. He had he hurt me. I played against him in 2 leagues. So that's no fun. Seth, what do you got? James Conner.
Definitely else? James Warren or Jaylen Warren hurt me the most. But I will say something that hurt me was watching that ref snap his leg.
Oh, I didn't see that. What
that hurt. That hurt me. I was like, you know, like where it's just like there's secondhand embarrassment, there's secondhand pain. Like it made me wince, and I was like, oh, you know, like I feel bad for the guy. I feel terrible, but that hurt me.
No, that Phil, Alvin Kamara's. Yeah, Alvin Kamara runs out of bounds, hits the chain gang guy, not the ref. The chain gang. Yes. His leg is pointing the wrong way, and Alvin Kamara like goes to help him up, and then he's like he didn't know what to do. You know what I mean? But like
you can't pull the guy up on his bum leg. You know,
and it's he saw the injury, and then he was just like, "I'm gonna walk away."
Oh, it was so bad.
Basically,
sure-
like, and it wasn't like it was security, because like sometimes the security guards get hit, but they're facing the right way, right? Because their leg just buckles and like.
Yeah.
But when it goes the other way, that is nasty.
Did they stop the game? Like they had to have hauled him off.
Well,
Yeah,
where's is there a backup chain gang? Like who hops in? Like, is there a guy just sitting in the locker room waiting to get in his chance? You know,
Here's
I
my
could just
chance
see-
to shine.
he's like, it's
I
my
could just-
season. You know, he's working the rest of the games that at that stadium. You know,
I could just see Seth parked outside the stadium in a Civic, just waiting to have his number called.
Here's my
sitting
shot
in
to
Buffalo. You know,
shine. They better not
In my
give me the
freezing
clip
car.
guy. I want to be holding the pole, man. Yeah.
Yeah, he wants to be the laser guy. The laser guy shooting across the field.
Oh.
That
was
Trent, I
terrible.
know it
That
hurt
was
you
terrible.
probably. You're a huge Derek Carr guy. I'm a Fresno State guy, not a big Derek Carr guy. I know you love him.
Because you weren't a Fresno State fan when Derek Carr was there.
It's true.
No, but I know Trent loves the guy. He's wants to take him out to coffee and just hear about his time at Fresno State. That type of a deal. He got booed when Taysom Hill came out of the game. How did that make you feel? Like, what are your thoughts, Trent?
Well, as a Chris Olave owner in a lot of leagues, I kind of understood it. Like Chris Olave had a good game today, but like his biggest play was a tip pass from Jameis Winston. Like it's just a weird. I don't. Here's the deal. I thought Chris Olave was going to be a league winner this year. Like I was really excited to get him in all these leagues. No, Alvin Kamara is the league winner. That was the guy that you maybe got in the second round, maybe in these half-point PPR leagues. Alvin Kamara is carrying you to the championship. I know he missed some games, but like we do a fantasy football award show at the end of the year. I think Alvin Kamara might be the most valuable draft pick of the season because everyone could have got him, unless you have like a diehard Saints fan in your league, but like he wasn't going in the first round in drafts. But yeah, so Alvin Kamara is like the only guy Carr can really throw to. Olave, I don't understand concussion protocol. I tweeted this today. It's one of the things I don't understand. Fake pockets and concussion protocol. Like some of these guys can't play for like 2 weeks, and then Olave, he doesn't even miss a game. I'm not complaining about it. I'm fine.
Well,
with
I think
it.
there's different levels
sense.
of concussions, but I get what you're saying.
All right, sorry, Dr. Seth, but
Well, I mean, you
else?
saw Jalen Hurts come out, get evaluated, and then come back in. So.
I saw a tweet on Twitter where the guy said the reason we lost the 49ers was because Jalen Hurts didn't play the whole game.
No, that had to be fake.
He was messing around. He's like, chill out, guys. I'm joking. You guys beat us. Leave me alone. Seth.
Is that your burner?
No, that's my burner. Seth, who do you got for who else hurt you? But yeah, the chain gang.
I'm just gonna say the Jalen Warren and then the ref getting hurt. That's what hurt me this week. Or the chain gang guys lap snapping, leg snapping. That's terrible.
It still hurts just thinking about it. I don't know. I thought maybe like someone hit you with a candy cane at the Christmas parade last night or something. I don't know.
Nope.
Did Seth get hit with a
no? Trent was just talking to me the whole night. That's what.
That might have been what hurt you, honestly.
Yeah, and he was sniffing over my shoulder, just itching to eat my chicken fingers too the whole time.
It was true. They were really good.
They were really good.
Shout out to Seth's mom though. She had an extra chicken sandwich and gave it to me. So
where was it from? Cane's.
It's a truck called I think it's called Spicy Birds or something like that.
I'll go back. I don't even know.
It's really good.
Yeah.
I want to know where it is / where it is because I have not heard of that.
It's based out of Fresno.
I thought Trent was going to get one of those hot dogs, those bacon wrapped dogs that they.
I would have got one of those, but I was already given a hot chicken sandwich, which the hot chicken was good. So,
Jordan, did you go to the parade last night?
Negative.
Right.
I watched football.
What? Santa was a little late. Other than that, I think everything was pretty good. I guess the fire truck made a wrong turn or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
We have turn, and apparently it blew a brake, so they had to switch it to the other truck.
We have 2 turns in the town that we live in, and Santa was about 19 minutes after.
So the worst part
finished.
is my stepdad is a volunteer cop. He's retired, volunteering at Kingsburg. He was giving me the rundown. So apparently
we really
Santa
should have him on the pod for this.
Yeah, Santa always rides in the bucket of the bucket of the fire truck, and they raise him up. They got a light on him. They decorate the truck.
Sure.
Well, apparently they were pulling out of the fire station to get in line in the back of the parade, and it blew a brake. They had to go get in the other one that wasn't decorated at all. And then the guy driving the truck, for some reason, wasn't a firefighter, and he turned down the wrong street. And there's like 3 cross intersections in our downtown of our street. Okay. And I'm like, apparently this cop's been working here for 10 years. I'm like, how do you work here for 10 years and turn down the wrong street?
It's
That's
really cool
embarrassing.
that you learned all that by listening to your CB radio all night, Seth.
Honestly, the fact that like Santa goes down the same track every single year for as long as I can remember, the fact that this person got it wrong is just embarrassing for our town.
If you don't know the turn, just go all the way to to the high school and take a left. You know what I mean? Like
Go to my
overshoot.
house and hook a left, basically.
Well, yeah, he turned left and he was like, oh, shoot, there's people sitting right there. I can't just go into the middle of the parade. Just like,
other than that, the parade was good.
it was great.
Got some good hot chocolate.
Yeah, let's get into divas though. We got any divas here? Divas of the week. Anything football related? Jordan, it seems like you're itching and ready to go for your diva of the week. So I already know what it is.
Yeah, Trent does. My diva of the week is all the people who think that Florida State should have gotten the playoff over Alabama. That's my diva.
Preach.
You're a diva if you think that a team with a third string quarterback named Brock Glenn, who could barely complete passes against Louisville, is one of the top 4 teams in the country. You should want the top 4 teams in the country to be in the playoff, and Florida State was not one of the top 4. So, like, I don't know. I think it's pretty bad take what everyone's saying. I think the committee made the right call, and I think it's pretty diva-ish to be like, oh, just because they went 13-0 with their quarterback who was a Heisman contender but has been hurt for the last 3 weeks, like they're a completely different team now. They're not the same team that went 10-0 before Jordan Travis was injured.
What else do you want them to do though?
It sucks. Life's not fair. It is what it is. Like,
yeah.
I mean,
the biggest diva thing is a 4-team is not a playoff. 4 teams is not a playoff.
No,
That's
it's not a
we can agree on
playoff.
that,
It's a
but, like,
raffle.
But like,
yes,
but that's the world we live in right now for one more year. So the reality is that I don't
Florida
think
State might finish as the only undefeated team in the country.
No,
from a
because
Power
they're going to
5.
lose to Georgia by 5 touchdowns, Trent.
They should not even go to the game. They should just say, "Hey, we're not playing. Thanks."
Well,
that's what I would do.
They're not. What's going to happen is everyone's going to realize that it was the right call for the committee not to put Florida State in when they get absolutely rocked by Georgia because they can't move the ball on offense.
Georgia might not want to be there either. Like these bowl games, when these teams don't make the playoff, they really don't even care almost. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't know what you're going to get. Like Georgia's have a bunch of guys sit out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Maybe, but like I don't think Carson Beck is because he's going back to Georgia probably.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but Bowers probably isn't going to play.
And that's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but I'm just saying that like I don't know. I don't know what Phil said. I know what Trent's. I don't know. I just think it's pretty bad take to just think that. Just
I think I agree with you. Like it comes down to top 4 teams, but like I also agree with the people saying like I think FSU did deserve to go there, but also it's who are the best 4 teams, and I think I agree that FSU is not one of the top 4 teams, even though I think regardless of who being hurt and not, like I think they do deserve it more than other teams, but I don't think they're the best after losing their quarterback. So I think it's
like
justifiable in both ways, but when it comes down to it, you want the best 4 teams in it, and I think that's who it is.
They had the most top 25 wins, right?
Although I do
Yeah,
think
Trent,
Georgia
like,
might be
it's
better
different.
than Texas for what it's worth.
Yeah, but you can't. Yeah,
it's
So
tough.
that's what I'm saying. Like, but also it's tough because Texas beat Alabama in the beginning of the season, but Alabama just beat Georgia. So like, you have to take that into consideration. But I also think Georgia's better than Texas.
Why'd the committee put Florida State above Georgia, though? If Georgia, you know what I mean? Like, I know it's the quarterback thing, but like, I don't know. I just think if you go undefeated in a Power 5, you probably should get in over other teams.
Oh, it's as bad as the World Cup. This thing is purchased. That's all I'm saying.
Jordan likes it. Jordan likes the committee.
Jordan, which is shocking. This thing is
right
the committee is purchased.
Made the right call. They made the right call in the situation.
Unfortunately, no matter what happened in the Florida State Louisville game, they already knew they weren't going to put Florida State in. They were hoping
Yeah.
they would lose so it'd look less bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Trent,
I
did
think
you
they knew
watch that
before.
game? Did you watch Florida State in the Louisville game?
I was at the parade. I saw the score.
It was absolutely miserable.
Yeah, no one watched
If you
it.
watched that game, you would be like, yes.
Louisville's pretty good though, aren't they?
No, they're not good. Their defense is horrible.
Is
They're
it
ranked
Louisville
15.
top? They're ranked, right?
They're 15.
Well,
I think.
yes, but like that's all relative, right? Like, I mean, but my point is that if you watch that game, you'd be like, this offense cannot be in the playoff. Like, that's just when you look at it, like the eye test, it tells you that they're not a top 4 team in the country.
A lot can change when you have a month of practice only. You can get a lot better. You know what I'm saying? A lot can change over the whole month of December not playing any games.
Yeah, people have flunked me on the eye test, and I ended up.
Remember when Ohio State won the national championship with their third string QB? Phil?
Yeah, and that third string QB, you know what he did in the Big Ten championship? He won 59-0.
Well, they probably played an unranked team though too.
They played Michigan.
I don't think Ohio State can play Michigan in the Big Ten championship.
I'm pretty sure it was Michigan.
I don't think that's possible because they're on the same side.
Yeah,
I thought that's what I said. Michigan State. Oh, Michigan State probably then.
That's what's wrong with that conference is that all the good teams are in one conference or one side of the conference, and there's always Iowa on the other side. Who's trash.
Yeah.
But then beats everyone else who's also trash.
Who's also trash in that side of the conference.
Yeah. It makes me so mad that Trent loves Ohio State.
Oh, sorry. I lied, Trent. Wisconsin.
Purdue.
They were ranked. Wisconsin. They were ranked number 11, and he won 59-0.
I hate Trent for saying Purdue.
My diva of the week is just to keep it going. My diva of the week. I had Phil over a couple weeks, not the Cowboys game on Thursday night. You know, we know how that happened. He came. When was the last time you were over here, Phil?
I was there for the in-person pod, and then I came Thursday night game ago. So not the Cowboys, but the week before I was there.
Okay. Phil gets a soda at my house. Okay, no big deal. He opens it up. What do you think he does, Jordan?
Oh, you have
Jordan,
to.
What do you think he does?
I have no idea. He shakes.
He pours it in his shoe.
Dumps half of it down the sink, and then starts drinking it.
I'm the pinnacle of health, Trent. So if you have a problem with health, and me trying to cut carbs and calories, you know what? Then you're the diva. Is that what you're saying?
He has to do that because he can only walk.
That's true. I can't run. I can no longer run. And to maintain my health, I have to pour half the soda out. Are you really calling me the diva because I poured half the soda out? No.
What do you think, Jordan?
At this point, just drink a sparkling water, man.
Just don't open the soda then. If you're that worried, you shouldn't be drinking soda in the first place. You should be drinking water.
That is ridiculous. So people who are trying to watch their calories
shouldn't be drinking soda.
Should not be drinking soda. Should be drinking water.
I'm trying to set example for you, Trent. That's what I was doing.
Wait, let me bury Phil further.
I don't drink soda.
Let me bury him further. Then this guy proceeds to go, the smokeless fire pits are actually kind of cool.
Seth, you weren't there, so I
you said that last Sunday. On Sunday, you said, I'm not gonna lie, Trent, the smokeless fire pits are kind of cool.
Yeah,
I don't think that was on record.
He sounded not as smart as Seth did right there too.
Yeah,
but yeah. So basically, if you're Phil, if that's even your real name, I don't even know anymore. But yeah,
it makes me so mad that you brought that up.
Half the Coca-Cola, dumps it down the drain. I'm like,
it was a root beer.
I'm like, are you serious? He's like, yeah, man, watching my calories. I'm like, whatever. And I was like, you know what? I am calling him out for that on the pod.
No, so here's the thing. Let me explain myself. I'm an athlete.
On the other hand.
I'm an athlete.
We don't need your explanation, Phil.
You're wasteful. That's what you are.
Your explanation is that I'm trying to lose. I know your explanation is going to be, I'm trying to lose weight. I'm trying to get back in shape. But if you're really someone who's really trying to get back in shape doesn't drink soda at all.
I'm just trying to maintain my weight around the holidays. So pouring out half the Dr. Pepper.
Soda he had lost a pound and he had to get back up.
Yes, exactly. I cannot believe you're calling me out for pouring out half the soda, Trent. That makes me sick.
You would not let your kids do something like that. And I hope they don't listen to this pod, because that is just like, you don't do stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, come on. Like,
Well, I know you don't do stuff like that. That's for sure.
I don't.
Trent opens his big gulp and puts 3 in.
Yeah. I was trying to set example for you, Trent. Trying to show you.
I already told you I don't drink sodas.
Yeah, sure, guy.
Yeah. I'll get some diets in there for you, Phil, so you can drink the whole can and not feel as bad. Phil's all the best.
Only
thing about
0
these
sugar.
diets is I can have 2 of them.
That's right. I hate you, Trent.
Seth, what do you have? What do you have, Seth?
Oh man,
Come on, I'm sure someone cut you off on your way to Christmas.
I knew you were
something like, come on, Captain Road Rage over here. Don't act like
his diva was the Santa driver who drove the wrong way.
Yeah, Mr. More Holy Than Thou, like all of a sudden has nothing. I'm so sure.
I don't know. I can't think. I don't know if I was wrong this week, to be honest. I don't know if I was wrong.
Yeah, he didn't drive enough.
I didn't drive enough.
He's been working from home.
As much as I usually did this last week, so that's probably why.
Okay, that's.
I'll punt this week. I'm sure I'll drive more this week.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I saw you kick. Your punting can't be much better. Anyways. All right, guys. So, hey, guys, thanks for tuning in. I will have a waiver wire article coming out tomorrow or on Wednesday. Sorry. So go sign up for that at www.thefantasyfootballdudes.com or check it out on Twitter, X, whatever it is. But yeah, I can get that delivered straight to your inbox at the strike of midnight, guys. Remember, don't be rude. Share the dudes. Really helps us out. We will see you on Thursday for all of our week 14 preview. And as always, guys, take care.
This has been another episode of the Fantasy Football Dudes podcast. Remember to rate, review, and follow. For more information, go to www.thefantasyfootballdudes.com. And remember, we are sorry for absolutely nothing.